What's up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. So this morning, as I was getting ready for work, I was listening to Pastor Keon Henderson again, and he made the statement, "I ain't got no gimmicks for you." When he made that statement, he made me think about he made me think about the lawyer or the attorney, Johnny Cochran. And, Johnny Cochran, he always would have some rhyme, you know what I'm saying? Some rhyme to say, you know what I'm saying, when he was doing his case. And the words that came to me were, "If it doesn't apply, let it fly." Okay? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Now, it may sound like that these two things are contradicting each other, because in one breath I said, "I ain't got no gimmicks for you," but then in the next breath I'm saying something that sounds kind of gimmicky. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But y'all gonna hear the connection. Well, what brought those words to my mind is it's this lady in my job that posts all these signs around the job, okay? And the signs have different quotes, you know what I'm saying? Different quotes that are motivating, inspirational, inspiring, thought-provoking, whatever, however you would want to say it. And I let her know a couple of weeks ago that I really like the stuff that she's been posting. You know what I'm saying? Because it's exactly that. Inspiring, uplifting, thought-provoking, what have you. Well, when I told her that, she said to me that she has been getting flack about these signs that she's been putting up, from different people. Some people have had, I guess, issues with some of the things that she's been putting up. And the issues, or their issues, lie in the fact that some of the signs that she's putting up reference to God. And I guess they don't believe in God. So since they don't believe in God, they're offended, I guess, because, they don't feel like that she should be putting up any type of signage that's applying to God, because they don't believe in God. So, again, that brings my thoughts to that statement that I'm saying that kept ringing in my mind. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. If she's putting up something that you feel like, I ain't in agreement with that, you know what I'm saying? Read it, and then it's like you read it but didn't read it. You know what I'm saying? Read it and just keep on walking. You know what I mean? Because this don't have nothing to do with me. This don't have nothing to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? This don't have nothing to do with what I want to do with my life. This don't have nothing to do with my family. This don't have nothing to do with my friends, my job, whatever. It just don't have nothing to do with me. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Well, going a little further into this, and I'm laughing right quick, y'all, because I try, lately, I've been trying as hard as I can to say whatever I have to say in 3 minutes or less, because I know that, in today's society, many people need whatever it is that they gonna get. They need to get it in, quick. They need to get it quick, you know what I'm saying? Because we live in a microwave society. So they want it really, really quick. And it's people that was telling me in the beginning when I started doing this, like, Kitty, put together some shorts and stuff like that. And shorts used to be 60 seconds or less. But, put it together, real short or whatever, because, people have short attention spans and this and that. But however, again, in the spirit of, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I guess if I've been speaking past the time frame that your attention span, your attention span doesn't permit you to listen to things longer than the time that I'm talking today, then if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You know what I mean? I guess just push that button and go on to the next thing. All right? But for those of you who are still here with me, I'm going to continue. Anyway, this lady is putting up these different postings around the job. And she ended up putting up a posting that spoke about suicide. She put up a posting that spoke about suicide. And on this posting, it basically said, and I'm gonna throw it up. I'm gonna throw the posting up in this video when I do all my little editing and things like that. And when I be talking back to y'all up on the top. The posting says something to the effect of, I guess if the thought of suicide ever crosses your mind, then go and talk to somebody, because they're pretty sure, or we're pretty sure that a person will rather hear your story, hear whatever it is that you may be going through, than to be attending your funeral. Well, when I first saw this, I saw it one day, I think I saw it at the end of last week, maybe Friday. And so when I came back in on Monday, I'm seeing it again. She had not switched the sign. It hit me. You know what I'm saying? It hit me in a certain manner. And it instantly provoked me to write a blog. Now, again, I guess I'm going a little in depth today. My therapist said to me last week that, you may need to give people a little bit more of an explanation of where you been, over this period of time. And I know that I did speak to you all, back a couple of months ago, and I was telling everybody I've been on a bit of a sabbatical. But she said you may need to reiterate it. Well, during these last couple of months, while I was on this sabbatical, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of things was going on. Life was like a mug. The longer that I was taking to connect with you all, the longer that I was taking to talk to you all, the longer that I was taking to spread some sort of message or a good word, be it through this platform, my newsletter, my blog, my Facebook group, all the different platforms, Instagram, any of these platforms, the longer that I was taking to do it, the more kind of like, I guess, disconnected I was becoming from it. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of like how we as authors, be where you have writer's block, where I was having a block on coming up with creative thoughts the longer that I wasn't doing it. I couldn't seem to put together anything. I couldn't put together a video. I couldn't put together a newsletter. I couldn't put together a blog. I couldn't do it. I was having such a block the longer that I was taking, from being, in connection with you all, So when I saw this lady's message, it instantly connected. It instantly connected for me. And it connected in a sense of, I felt the need to write a blog on it. And when I say the blog flowed out so effortlessly, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to drop the link to the blog down in the description. So if any of you are interested in reading it, you can check it out. And make sure you subscribe to the blog also. So anytime I drop a blog or anything of that nature or a newsletter, you can get it. But anyway, when I wrote this blog, or I was inspired to write this blog because what that sign said to me was, it could be anybody that's walking around in this building that happened to read this sign today. And when they read this sign today, that could be the very thing that they needed to hear for them to change their mind from feeling the way that they could have been feeling. If they were feeling this way, if it was somebody that may have been contemplating or thinking about suicide, when they saw that sign made them realize that their life was worth living. That sign made them realize that maybe they should talk to somebody. That sign made them realize that they are obviously, or they could be important to a lot of people, because the people would rather them talk to them than for them to have to sit there or attend their funeral. So I wrote a blog about it. Well, when I wrote this blog about it, I sent my blog automatically goes out to all of the subscribers that's on my that subscribe to my blog, but also manually too, so I can build up my subscribership, spread the word, spread the messages that I am putting together. I send it out a lot through via text. I send it out via my Facebook, you know, different vehicles. I send this thing out, and a couple of people came back with a different, you know, with certain responses. You know, some people said things like, that was very well written. That was very well written and really heartfelt, and sending me like hearts and 100, like, man, like you put that together. Some people said, you know, stuff like, thank you so much, and like, dang, I can see that you're doing really good, because they looking like, oh damn, you got a blog and this and that or whatever. But then there were people that said things like, I didn't really like it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really like it. You know, they felt like, you know, it was morbid. You know, they felt like, period. Some of the people that even seen it from the job, as far as seeing the lady's sign, they said they didn't even like her sign, because they felt like her sign was morbid. Like, you know, I don't want to see that. You know, when they walk around, they don't want to see something like that that's referencing to a person feeling like they want to kill themselves. So again, that brings me back to the thought of when I said, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Because I understand it. I understand it from both sides, where somebody can see something, they feel like, ooh, like it's literally giving me chills to read that or see that. But again, for the person who is dealing with that, for the person who finds themselves in that position right now, that is exactly what it is that person needed to see or hear. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything can't always, you know, accommodate everybody. It goes back to one of those statements where it'll say, you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. So when you come across something that you feel like, you know, and I guess that's being able to tap into that sense of empathy. You know, being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. I'm able to put myself in the shoes of the person who may need it, as well as put myself in the shoes of the person that's saying that it's morbid. Again, my words, or my statement to you is, or to anyone is, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If it doesn't apply, if it does not apply to you, if you do not feel like that this is something that resonates with you, if it is not something that you feel like that, you know, I don't have no connection with that, you know, no, because I never felt like that. I never felt like that in my life, and I can't understand people who feel like that. Just, you know, as they say, swipe left, swipe right. I don't know which way. You know what I'm saying? Push the button, turn it off, whatever. Turn your face away from it. Whatever it is that you got to do. You know what I mean? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying to you all is as long as God places whatever thoughts inside of me, as long as God keeps utilizing me, as long as God gives me a word to share in whatever manner it is that he gives me to share it, you know what I'm saying, from wherever it is, from wherever it is, he deliver it. You know what I'm saying? Be it from a TV program, from a cereal box, you hear me? From a sign out here, when I'm riding on the road and I'm happen to look up at a sign, you know what I'm saying? From a person that's standing out here on the street, from somebody who happened to send something via text, whichever method, okay, that the Lord decides to give me a message, that's the way that I'm going to share it, okay? So again, if it doesn't apply, please, y'all, just let it fly. Just let it fly. Utilize the things that apply to you. And the rest of that stuff, just push it on over to the side. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.